Guys, so I wanted to do another video about my 7 Sola SLX and why go custom on a tie frame. Why not? There's a lot of tie frames out there that you can buy and buy for a lot less, and you can really get a really nice bike. You can get the geometry you want, almost is the ideal fit if you fall in the right size category. If you can size it up to you can probably get a fit exactly like you like it, or maybe just slightly off. And if it's slightly off on a mountain bike, how much does that really matter? I mean, it's not like you're sitting in the saddle grinding out long miles on a mountain bike. Technically, you're usually out of the saddle, moving around a lot, doing other things, so you're not really just sitting and grinding, unless you're like this long marathon cross-country mountain bike racer. Maybe you're grinding out for those type of rides. So especially single speed too. Single speed, you definitely have to stand up a lot, because it's impossible to grind it out on some of the steep inclines. Anyway, so back to why did I get a 7 SLX for my frame for this single speed build. I could have gone with a number of other different titanium frames for a lot less. So first of all, I wanted to get custom. So that already put me into a category where I knew it was going to be a little bit more expensive. And there's a couple reasons I wanted to get custom. One was I wanted to kind of get the geometry. I felt I was always in between sizes, so I wanted to get the geometry more to the size that was sized for me. It wasn't in between. It wasn't too small or it wasn't too big, and had a long enough reach and a little bit more of a trail geometry with a little bit slacker head tube angle, a little bit have the steep, not too steep of a seat post angle, seat tube angle I should say. I wanted to get the tucked in brakes like that. So I really was picky, and I knew how I wanted it. Another thing to consider is I'm 160 pounds. So I wanted a frame that was really had a nice give to it for my weight. I've had other titanium frames, and this is not my first titanium frame, and they were really stiff just for the fact that they were overbuilt, and they were built more towards people with a wider weight range. They couldn't make them have the flex and the give for me, because they weren't custom made to me. They were made to be up to somebody weighing 200 pounds or 250 pounds. So they didn't want them to break if a bigger guy bought them, so they wanted to make them beefy enough to withstand that. So when they make a non-custom frame like that, that's how they do it. And then here's a shout out for 7, and I love the company. They work hand in hand with you. And the thing about 7 is they make their own titanium tubing, or they fabricate, they get regular tubing and then they fabricate it themselves. So this 7 titanium tubing that I have on here is that Cirrus tubing. There's no other bike company besides 7 that can source it or use that type of tubing. So they use that tubing that is probably some of the lightest titanium, ultra butted titanium tubing out there. I could think of maybe Serrata, like that Italian company, or Colignago, that another Italian company that when they used to make titanium bikes, I think they still do, but I'm not sure. I don't own any road bikes and do the road bike thing. So with 7, you're going to get a really, really high-end, nice frame that you can't get from anybody else. So that was another reason I went with it. I wanted to get a frame for life. I wanted to get it custom sized. I wanted to get it custom weighted, something that was weighted and had the ride qualities that I wanted, with a little bit of flex and give, because I was making a fully rigid single speed, so I don't have any suspension. My suspension is my tires and my body, basically. So I wanted it in a little bit of frame flex that I get out of it. So that's why I went with the 7 Sola SLX. The newer models are called 7 Sola XX, and that's the one that uses, just look for the ones that use the Cirrus tubing, and give those guys an email. They will email you back. They'll help you design your frame for you. I'm not getting anything. They don't even know me, except for the couple bikes I bought from them. They know who I am, but they don't really know. I'm not endorsed by them in any way. I just wanted to give you my reasoning for buying the 7 and just recommend it if you're somebody who is really wanting to build something special. Consider a 7, or consider one of the other frame companies that really can source and get quality titanium tubing for your custom frame build. Man, my voice is going.